every life. The wisdom she holds is like no other, bringing together every sister and brother. She extends peace and love through collab and grow. Her weekly connection, so now you know. Join the tribe on the live, she got something to say, bringing healing to body each and every day. She's got something special, yeah, the queen is the vibe, dropping wisdom in the group on every live. Queen Alchemy is gifted, yes, she'll fight for you when she feels compelled to stand up for the truth. She's strong in her stance with poise and grace, giving back to her community in every way. Queen Alchemy, now you know her name. One moment in a tribe, no, you won't be the same. Sharing wisdom, she's the queen, dropping knowledge on everything. Join Queen Alchemy, she's the vibe, sending peace and love on every live. With the knowledge and the tribe, hail to the queen, Queen's Alchemy.
Peace and love, everyone. Peace and wellness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Queen's Alchemy, the Healthy Mind Exchange, the Perspective Detox. I'm so glad to see all of y'all here. Tap in with us. So tonight, we're going to be doing something a little different. You know, something kind of special. We're going to be having a true conversation. We're not going to have nothing scripted, nothing forced. We're just going to open and flow. So we're going to be diving into some deep topics like belief, spirituality, religion, even some conspiracies. Okay, so how that actually and then kind of tied into how it all impacts the health and wellness of your well-being, right? So let's be real. What you believe, what you hold on to in your mind, and those things like that, they stay in your mind, but it also shows up in your body, your energy, your spirit. And we got some thought-provoking questions lined up, but we also letting the conversation breathe. As I mentioned, we just gonna flow with it. And we're gonna pull y'all into the conversation too. So make sure you stay engaged, drop your comments, questions in the chat, because your voice matters too in this space. And listen, when it comes to when you come in, just do me a favor, hit that like button so we can vibe and spread, and then also share out the live so we can continue to share that vibe as well, because this ain't just a live, this is a collective experience, and we're building here together. So sit back, stay open, and let's flow. It's going to be good, y'all, I promise. But before we get into our conversation, I want to just welcome in Feminine Health and Wellness. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for being here. And all of you that's in the bushes, as we say. And before we get into our conversation, I want to properly introduce my co-host. Whole Man Speaks. He is deeply into health, wellness, always asking the tough and thought-provoking questions and pushing us all to go deeper. Oh man, I'm gonna let you take it from here. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about who you are, about your channel, your message, all that.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Queen. Appreciate you, Queen. Whole Man Speaks was birthed. I can't. You can hear me okay? You hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Whole Man Speaks was birthed from really just thinking about wholeness and being whole as a person. I would often see, like in gym spaces, where people would be physically fit, but their mental health, their spirituality would be on the shelf, right? And then I would also go into spaces like churches or any type of religious organizations, and it's almost like the body was non-existent, almost like just pray and everything gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? So I took a step back, and I'm a theist, so I believe in God, right? So I took some time back, and spent some time with God, and realized that wholeness is possible. Not only is it possible, but it should be prescribed. You know what I'm saying? Working on all three levels of the person: the body, the soul, and the spirit. So that's how that came about.
Wow. I love the message. I love the mindset behind the message. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. And for those who are here for the first time, welcome in. I'm Queen. And my channel is Queen's Alchemy, and we feed the mind, body, and spirit over here. We focus on whole food, plant-based lifestyle, mindset, and all things health, including mental, physical, and spiritual. So um, pretty much that's what my channel is about. All right, so let's go ahead here and get into it. Now, we do have some guided questions, like I mentioned to begin with, but really, they're just to help us shape the flow of the conversation. This isn't about sticking to the script as I talked about. It's just about, like, just kind of naturally doing this. So, with that being said, let's go
Right.
ahead and kick it off with this. And I'm going to let you answer this first, my brother. What's one belief or worldview you used to hold on to that you now see differently?
That's a good question. Right off the bat, you starting with the heat, huh? You're not even playing with us.
Yeah, let's see
Um,
what we got.
so I would say one worldview or belief that I see differently now is that every group is a monolith, right? And monolith just means that every group or every person in every group is the same. You know what I mean? So like uh every Muslim is the same. Every Asian is the same, right? Every group or culture is the same. And as you grow in the world, as you expand your mind, you realize that every group is not a monolith. People are different. You got to learn, you got to talk to people, you got to learn people. And you also learn a lot about yourself in the midst of that. But I would say that was one of the number one things that I had to get rid of. The world, the cultures, the people, they're not monolithic. Everyone's an individual until they show you otherwise.
Hmm. So that's pretty deep. Pretty deep. All right. So in
Thank you.
essence, if I were to, what you're saying is, I kind of want to question that a little bit, ask you about it, I guess to say. So when you say
Sure. Sure.
monolithic, can you expand a little bit? Like, so are you saying that, because you said every group is the same, but or is that what you used to believe, that every group, every person was the same? And then you started to see that everybody functions different. Is that what you were saying?
Correct. Like I could say, sure. I wouldn't know if it's my upbringing or if it was my environment, right? But we're kind of taught growing up that you know if this person is in this group, they all believe the same. They act the same. They just do everything the same. And I think it makes you, or me personally, I feel like it makes me close minded when I believe that everyone is a monolith. So I'll give you an example, right? Um, there are theists, there are people that believe in God, and there are atheists, people that don't believe in God. And then there's agnostics, people that say, huh, I'm not sure, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can't go, I'm a theist, right? I believe in a God, right? But I can't go to someone that doesn't believe in God and say all atheists think the same way. That's called a monolith.
Mm.
It's unwise for me to believe they all think the same way because they're different people.
Right.
So for me, it's open up my mind and say, hey, I got to learn and grow with people and let them show me who they are rather than me pumping the label just because they believe, they don't believe. Because I can't say that every person that believes in God is on the same tip I'm on. We're on different tips too. You know what I mean? Some people believe in God and they throw the body out. I believe in God and I also believe that you got to take care of this temple too. And not everybody believes that. So that's what I mean. Does that kind of make sense?
It does. And when you say like believe, and see that right there puts it into individualistic perspective to me when we say believe, because if we were in harmony as a people or as a whole, there would be no reason to have to believe. You would know, right? Because what you do, because what you spoke about as being monolithic, and people, all these people do the same thing. But let's think about the fact that if
Mhm.
with all of us doing something different, we're all being taken and drawn in different directions, and there's no sense of harmony. I believe in lining up everything with nature, and and I guess when you say believe, right? So I feel as if
Mhm.
I know that nature is the direct guide, right? So if that's the case, then nothing in nature, nothing in nature has to believe, if that makes sense. Nothing in nature has to believe. The trees know that they're going to grow. That, you know what I'm saying? The ants know what they're going to do. The bees know what they're
Mhm.
supposed to do. We're the only species
Right.
of people of species, I guess to say, that has to be told what to do, shown what to
Mhm.
do, expressing ourselves
Mhm.
in different uh, ways, going in different directions, going off of what someone else says. We're the only ones that do that.
Mhm.
There's no other species that don't do that when you look in nature. So I feel like nature is the true guide. So when you say believe, but for me,
Mhm.
believe,
Right.
um, because it's such a common thing, I rock with it, but it's really not a thing that I really like to rock with, I guess to say, because I don't like division. I would
Right. You don't
love for us,
subscribe to it.
yeah, come together on one accord, to say that you actually know. And when I
Okay.
say that I know something, you hear me say, yeah, I know this, but you may not know this. But you would have to say,
Right.
oh, I believe that, because that's not your knowing. But if we were in harmony with one
Mhm.
another as beings, human beings,
Mhm.
then you would know what I know. Whether it's the same exact way or not, you would know it. It would be on the same flow. You get what I'm trying to say? Am I making sense? You flowing
I
with
do.
me?
I do. It does make sense. Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Are you talking?
Am I chopping out on my side? Is it chopping
Yeah.
out on my side?
It
I
did.
am.
If you had
Is it
started to
chopping out
talk,
on
I
my
think.
side?
Yeah. It's not no more.
It's chopping out.
Not anymore.
Okay. We back. Okay. All right. If it does that and it's my laptop, I have my I have my phone handy too because I want to make sure you can hear me clear.
Okay.
But you can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
All right. So when you said harmony, would you okay? When you said harmony, would you say that we should all believe the same way? Is that what you're saying? When you say harmony or being in harmony?
No. Well, harmony is for me the opposite in belief, because I couldn't say that we should all believe the same way to be in harmony, because when you put belief in there, you take away the harmony. And what I mean is, so let's use what most people relate harmony to, right? It's a musical
Mm.
instrument. When I think harmony, I think musical instrument. So you got a guitar, you have a piano, you have the drums, you have a trumpet,
Did
and
you
maybe a
just see it
sax.
turn black?
Huh? Say it again.
Did you just see it turn black? Like it just loaded over here. Did you see that or no?
Mm-mm. No, it didn't do it on my side,
I'm wondering, Queen, if I should okay. I'm
because I can hear you
wondering
clearly.
if
Can you hear me
let
clearly?
me let me I hear you choppy, so I'm wondering if I should just try it from my phone because it's coming in choppy on this device for some reason on my
I mean,
laptop.
you can load your phone while that one's still up, and then we could drop this one off.
Sure. Okay. Let me do that.
Okay,
Just
so
so it's
Coffee No Cream says, And I want to, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome in everybody. Hey, peace and love, peace and love. We're gonna take a quick hiatus right here. How about now?
All right. All right. Can you hear me, Queen?
Hold on. I can hear you, and we can see you better.
Perfect. So
And we can see you better. Peace and
perfect.
love, peace and love. While we have this quick break, I'm just gonna greet some of the people in the chat. I see Cozy at Coco. Hey, Coco, peace and love and wellness. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Coffee No Cream. Oh, my sister, it's been a minute. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. And I see Tia in the glow, just Tia on the glow, just joined in. Thank you for being here, my sister. We're here today. If you missed the intro, we're here today talking with me and Whole Man Speaks. We're just having a conversation on different views and just kind of chopping it up together, letting the conversation flow. But we're all going to tie it back to how some of these things that we're discussing actually impacts your um, health, whether it be your mental health, your physical health, or a combination of the same, right? So we're gonna talk it. That's what we're doing right now. So just sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share out the live, let everybody know that we're here and that we're having a great conversation over here. Me and my brother, Whole Man. So let's go ahead and continue. And where we left off was because he had to switch out his device so that we could hear him a lot better without the choppiness and things.
Mhm.
So we do appreciate y'all holding on and sitting back and waiting for it. So we getting ready to continue. And what I
My
was speaking
apologies.
when we got when we took our little break was harmony. And harmony, peace and love, Monique, welcome in. Harmony speaks to, I was saying it was like the instruments, right? So when I think of the word harmony, the best way to put it, but if you want to apply it to people, I'm gonna give you that simulation, right? So you
Hmm.
put the instruments together, you got drums, guitars, piano, all of that. When they're playing together, they're all different.
Right.
But when they're playing together, they're in what? They're in
Harmony.
harmony. They're in
Yeah.
harmony. So what
I
I'm
like that.
saying is when you put a whole bunch of people together, right? We're all different, but we should be coming together in harmony. But when we have a whole bunch of believers in something, that means we're taking, you believe in this, I believe in that. How can we come together
Uh-huh.
in harmony with all that belief?
I
Somewhere,
think
okay, go ahead.
I think the universal law is love in every belief. So if the common denominator is love, if if I have love in my heart, then the common denominator should make us harmonious. Prime example, me and you may have two different worldviews, but guess what? Every time we come through, every time we chop it up, it's peace and love, right? That's because love is our common denominator. And I think when people work on their whole selves, right, they'll learn love as that common denominator. And guess what? Now you can have a healthy exchange because you got what I got. We can do it. That's my answer.
Okay. So love is subjective as well, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
what I depict as love, because I believe that love is this, and you believe that love is this. There's no, even though universal law brings in love that way, us as beings and humans on this plane that we're on, we
Hmm.
all use it differently. I may say I love you and I feel love for you, and that may not even look like or feel like what you portray to be love, right? Because love is subjective. So that's why we need to flow. For me, I feel as if we need to flow on energy exchange, right? So we won't have to believe anything. There's no reason to have to believe when you will know, right? If I feel your energy, I was drawn. Okay, so perfect example. I came
Hmm.
over to your channel on recommendation from another content creator because she suggested, hey, you might want to interview Whole Man Speaks because I think y'all will have a great conversation. Y'all be on that same, right? This is what
Right.
she said to me. That's how
Right.
I ended up on your channel. But when I got
Mm.
there and I'm listening to you, I'm like, this brother, it wasn't about what you were saying, but it was what you were emitting from yourself. You could have been saying anything. But if your whole energy was off, you could have been saying things that I could relate to and that we flowed and we did agree on in those things, right? But if your energy was off, what you let off that what you let off of yourself was different, I couldn't rock with you. We wouldn't be able, you follow what I'm saying? So
I do.
if yeah, so that's how I see that. That's why I'm looking at, let's see, we got anybody saying anything in the chat? No. Okay. So I think Wellness says she agreed with you earlier, feminine, about love being the universal
Right.
language. Right. So we all, and then you got this breakdown. So you got to take out so many factors, unlearn things, right? So that same question I asked you, like, what is this something that I today don't, that I used to believe that I don't, I guess rock with today? And that
Hmm.
would have to be that the things that I was taught, right? What I was taught, I don't really rock with anymore. And I won't say everything, but for the most part. So, like in church or school, I thought what they was telling me was the truth. So
Hmm.
that's how I grew up. I don't know if you grew up that way, thinking everything that was given to you was what it was. Like there was nothing
Right.
else. Because that's how I grew up. I never
Right.
questioned. And a matter of fact, I thought if you question it, it was some type of rebellion, or that, when it came down to church or God or anything of
Right.
that, don't question God. Those were things that were given to me. But when
Right.
I grew though, I began to grow. But I'm gonna tell you, I was almost today's years old when
Right.
almost,
Today's years.
I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, it's pretty close. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
this is
Right.
a new journey that I'm on, and I can realize and see things for myself. So I started to realize that the systems that were built to keep people obedient, uh, in line, all of that stuff, it wasn't enlightening them. It wasn't giving them no other level to go to. You literally stayed stagnant in this.
Mm.
And I didn't know this though. I thought I was growing. I thought I was stuck because I hadn't did what I was supposed to do. I thought that I needed to do this in order to get to this level. And I need to do this to
Hmm.
get to this level. And I was just failing, right? Never knowing
Hmm.
that that's not how it works because I thought what I had been taught was the truth. So once I start asking questions, I'm talking about I question everything and looking
Right.
at things spiritually instead of just religiously.
Hmm.
Things shifted. Everything
Mm.
shifted. Mindset shifted. My health shifted. My
Mm.
energy shifted. Everything shifted. I became just a totally different person. Because I know I was carrying like fear-based beliefs. You follow what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say now? That I'm coming back to that belief. I had
Uh-huh.
fear-based beliefs that was heavy. They was draining me. They was taking all my energy, and I was giving all my energy to these fear-based beliefs. Oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell. If you don't do this and you don't align, you're disappointing God. If you don't do like all these things. So think about how much that is on a person. We're
Yes.
talking one individual, and we know how this world is designed, but we want to blame it on the world when we don't even realize that all we got to do is go within because no one taught us that. Now, today, I can walk in love, peace, my higher consciousness. I can, I just feel lighter. You get what I'm saying? So we
I
can,
do.
this is how it kind of lines up when these type of things show up in our lives. I feel like our mind, body, spirit, all is impacted because we're trying to get into some type of belief. And I'm not saying if you have this belief system, please don't think that I'm attacking you in any way. These
No,
are my views on how
no,
I
no.
see things. And I'm not speaking directly to you, Coleman, because I know you get it. I'm speaking to the chat and anyone that will see this in the interim of this, right? So,
Got you.
this replays. Okay, so I just want y'all
For
to
sure.
know I'm not going in on you if you have a belief system. I focus on the knowing. I listen to myself. You hear me say that all the time, how I listen
Hmm.
just to me. I will hear what others have to say. And if it resonates with me, then that's when I feel like we're in alignment. Now we're talking about a whole nother thing, right? Alignment, harmony, all these things are very important. These are things that we were never taught. Would you agree?
That harmony and alignment are things that we were not taught.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't taught
Um,
as defining those things, what they were, I guess to say.
I would say yes, that we were not taught those things. Because a lot of times, back to question number one, um, we just kind of stayed in our groups. Everybody had their own group, and they just stayed to their own group. And if a person looked or sounded differently, we didn't even try. We said, "Oh, you know what? That's that group. We're not going to try." So I think whenever you open your mind up to stuff like that, you're always going to be better for it.
Hmm. I agree with that. Yeah. You
Um,
got to be open minded in anything that you do. Because when you walk
mhm,
around and you feel like, I heard someone recently say this, and this
mhm,
here was like super deep to me. It was like,
mhm,
so anything that you embrace or believe that
mhm,
has you thinking that anyone that does not believe like you
mhm,
has a doom and gloom on their life because of it, that means that you are putting that same energy onto that person as well. Whether that belief may be there, but you're the one that adopted the belief that your whatever you believe is it. It's the end all be all. And if you don't rock with me, then you're wishing doom and gloom. I was taught that we were born in sin, and that if we did not accept Jesus Christ as our personal savior, we were going to hell. And so, if that's the case, I always ask this question, and maybe you can answer it.
mhm.
What about those who didn't have the opportunity to hear about Jesus Christ? Do they just automatically go to hell because they don't know? That was
Um,
a question.
that's a great question. So I am one of the people that I don't just hear something and say, "Oh, don't question." I think anything you believe in, you should question. If a person says don't question, run to the next exit, and that goes for everybody and their mama. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Run to
Yeah,
the next exit. I ask questions about everything, and I believe you should ask questions because at the end of the day, we're all trying to find our way. Some people know their way, like you were saying earlier, but everybody's trying to find where they belong, their path, right? So
yeah.
when it comes to that question, I had that same question, and then
Hmm.
this was the satisfying answer to me, because I heard a bunch of answers, and a lot of them sounded like filibusters, where somebody just give you an answer just to get you out of there. But
Right.
the satisfying answer to me was, if God is real, if there's a such thing as God, then by definition, God cannot make a mistake on eternity. Does that make sense?
Say it one
So
more time.
if God is
Hmm.
real, right, then by definition of what we would call a God, God cannot make mistakes on eternity. Meaning he can't
Okay.
put somebody where they don't belong if
Okay.
God is real. You
Okay.
follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's the if question for those that don't believe. If God is real, he can't make mistakes on somebody's eternity. Then he or she would not be God. Get what I'm saying?
Then that
Now,
would
whether you
not be
agree or
God.
disagree,
You're saying that would not be God. Okay, so watch. Let
no,
me ask you
no,
this.
would not be
Let me
God.
ask you
Because
this.
you can't
So
make a mistake like that.
are you saying that? I mean, is that your statement, or was that an example? You get what I'm saying? Was that your statement, or was that an example? Was that an example of, if God is real, they could not, that God could not have made a mistake on, did you say eternity?
Or someone, right. Remember how you were
Okay,
saying if they never heard about it, I was answering your question directly. If they
right.
never heard about it, they're going to go somewhere that they're not supposed to be. Um, God, by definition, can't make that kind of mistake. Does that make sense? Or else it's
Yeah,
not God.
I don't know if maybe I'm missing something, because are you saying that uh, God can't? Uh-oh, why my screen went black? Okay, are you saying that God can't make mistakes?
I'm
Let me ask
saying, I'm saying when to your question, right?
you. Mm-hmm.
About God
If I
sending
didn't
someone
know.
somewhere. Right. Uh, so what we call God is the uncaused first cause, right? Author and finisher. That's what we call God, right? We call God the basically you always hear the story, what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? We call God the uncaused first cause. So you have a Big Bang theory. If we have a Big Bang theory, what made it bang? That would be God, right? Doesn't have a beginning or an end. So if we have a being that doesn't have a beginning or an end, that is all powerful and all knowing, that God cannot make a mistake like that, because we could not call that being God at that point. Because if you can make mistakes, you're finite, you're not infinite. And because we make mistakes and I believe we're finite. Does that kind of make sense? Are you tracking with me?
I am.
Okay.
However, we're told that we're made in the image of. So
Yes.
wouldn't the God that we made in the image of be finite as well?
So a copy is not a replica is not an original. An image is it's almost like a reflection, if you will. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
made in the image, you're a reflection, but that doesn't mean that you have the same. You don't have 100% of the same properties as the original. Does that make sense? We're going deep, but let's go. Get your scuba gear, get your goggles. Let's go. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, it does,
that's
it
good.
does, it does make sense what you're saying.
Hmm.
However, when you get this information, because I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say where is it. I'm not that person. You might just know this, right? This might be your knowing. That's
Uh-huh.
not something that you studied and or found somewhere. But if this is something that you read that
Hmm.
resonated with you, that you believe,
Hmm.
in turn, I would have to challenge that on the basis that um, what I seem to feel, I guess to say, in my own
Hmm.
being, when I go within myself, I have these same qualities, right, as
Hmm.
a God. Now,
Okay.
there's a universal um, verse, right? There's a universe that may or may not have or created. I don't rock with the Big Bang theory. That's not something that resonates with me. I don't
Hmm.
like being told. I like figuring it out for myself, because all my life I was lied to. So that gives you that what is it? Shell shock, right? So I got shell shock. So shell shock is not I can't rock with anybody telling me anything that I cannot go within myself and see for myself. And
That's
that
fair.
for that reason, when you
Hmm.
say that there is, because you're made in the image of, doesn't make you a dupe. It doesn't make you have all of the properties of that particular thing. It
Hmm.
makes me say, well, what? So is it just to look like? Because an image is a physical looking, but
Hmm.
what's the image that it is? You know what I'm saying? Is it a full? Is it a full image? Do I or do you look like in that image, or are we talking about inside? You got what I'm saying? Our inner workings, are we made the same? Do we have the same abilities? Do we have the same um, ways? Can we do the same things? Do we have the same abilities to do the same things? I think that I have the same abilities to do everything. It's just been suppressed by all of the things that have been given to me over time. I've been on this earth quite a few years at this point, and because of
Hmm.
that, I have not really tapped into who or how I should be, or even my abilities. I know that I am a creator in a
Hmm.
whole bunch of senses of the word,
Right.
right? I
Hmm.
create life. Isn't that similar to God? I can speak something over something and it becomes. I can say this and it appears. Isn't that what God did? Let
Hmm.
there be light, let there be land, let there be. I can say that, and I can do that, and I have that ability. So I feel like I am truly a God. And I also feel like you are as well. And I feel like ye all are gods in that aspect of being. But we just don't have the abilities or the mindset to know um, that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You don't have the
I get what you're
mindset.
saying.
I mean, you might know that you have that ability. I don't know. But most people don't know they have these abilities because everything has been suppressed. They've been handed something to show them that they're less than. I think it's okay to walk around and know that you are and that you are everything. That's why you can show up and be everything. I can be anything I want to be. I mean, I don't know if I could be a rabbit or an animal, but I mean, I can pretty much be anything that I want to be. So, what do you say
Let
to
me
that?
ask.
Because we came
Can,
across this as you saying God was,
hmm
uh, it was infinite, and the infinite being could not make mistakes. But if we're made in the image and we are able to do so, I feel that that's the possibility as well.
Right. So let me ask you: when you say "made in the image," is that something you believe in, or is that something that you're just using for the sake of the conversation?
Well, so
That's a good question, right?
yeah, it is because I mean, because I'm taking something again from some of the things that you learn and unlearn, and the pieces and portions of that.
Right.
Um, uh,
And maybe I could ask you more questions if you want, just to try to help you with
yeah,
it.
yeah, go with that because I
So,
mean, because
oh,
I
mhm.
definitely know I'm pulling this from some things that
Scripture,
I have
scripture.
learned.
Right.
It is
You're pulling
definitely
it from
scripture. Hmm.
right. So I guess I'm trying to figure out like um which parts like let me try to word it right. Um when you talk about being created in the image of God, or you're talking about ye are gods, right? Is the reason why I'm asking, is it something you believe in or not? Because it seems like you drew a conclusion, the fact that we are gods based off the scripture. And I guess I'm trying to figure out like, do you believe that it's all false, or is there certain parts that resonate with you and that's what you roll with?
I guess a couple things. And now that's actually a great question. And I guess a couple things. So when we reflect on um, scripture, right? So
Sure.
a lot of times, I didn't throw the whole thing out with the bathwater, right? So some of these things in here are things that are of from the natural, I mean the original time, right? And I say that to say, when I have, again, you do have to just, and then that becomes into a belief system, right? But
Hmm.
at the same time, I have gone and seen these things with my own eyes. Can I outline exactly what they say and what they do, or can I go by a feeling and what I felt when I was there? Yes, I can do that. But and when
Hmm.
I was in Egypt, I saw the pyramids and this original Bible and all of these Christianities and all these religions are based off of this original, right? This
Hmm.
original way of being. Really, it's just a way of being. It's a way
Okay.
that we study. So the universe, so let's go back to that. So the universe was studied by our ancestors who created those pyramids and documented everything in those pyramids, what people quote unquote call hieroglyphs, right?
Hmm.
Everything. I mean, I thought it was all over the ceilings, down the walls. It's everywhere. But this is
Right.
how they documented this information.
Hmm.
Now, this information being, like I said, somebody has to, what do you call it? Interpret it, right? Somebody got to
Hmm.
interpret it.
Right.
But something goes beyond interpretation.
Hmm.
When you're in it and you physically see it, this is why I don't speak upon things that I didn't actually dive into, right? So had I never been to Egypt and saw these things with my own eyes, I still would be speculating and have to believe that that was actually there and I actually seen it. And it's really not called Egypt; it's called Kemet in my eyes. I don't know if that's true or not either. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. So with that, this
So
is
you believe it?
original. If this is
Sorry.
original doctrine that was put together by our ancestors, if that's the case, our ancestors say, now let's go with that. Our ancestors say, based on what's written on the walls, that this is the universe that we live in, and these are the ways that we should live, and we are in an image. All of that is in that. But where, don't ask me to outline it. I will find it if you want me to find it. But I mean,
Sure.
at
Sure.
the end of
No.
honestly wouldn't be able to tell you exactly where that particular thing is. But it's
Hmm.
also similar to what I've been taught my entire life. That's why I say some things, because they're because, but the delivery of those things make things different, make it difficult to to really rock with, right? So when it comes to the Bible, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, is what I was told. Originally, I was like, I'm not rocking with that because it was said to be given to us by the slave masters. Now I'm going typing into something whole totally different, but I'm just letting you know that's what it's said to do. And actually, when you read it, it does reflect a lot of change that you couldn't imagine have been true scripture or true words that were actually things that were put together for something or someone to actually rock with. But you got
Hmm.
bits and pieces that's put in there that I think can be interpreted to be beneficial for you if you choose to use it that way. Now, to answer your question, am I using the scripture as it was in that sense? Yes and no. Okay, so yes, I am referring to the scripture when I say made in the image. I know I went around the world backwards and came back, but you followed me, I hope.
You
And
went to
then,
Egypt and came back.
yeah, I went to Egypt and I came back. But
She back.
Literally and figuratively. I did it just now. But with that, I'm saying that that's how I come up with that. And I feel as when we speak, when I hear certain things spoke
Hmm.
about images or about God and using those words like ye all are gods, I feel that, when you be like, oh, you're a child of God, think that I'm a child of anything outside of my being. I'm a child of God of my own doing here. My mother is a God who created me along with my father. You get what I'm trying to say? And then in
I do.
return, she created several gods. And then those gods created gods. And then those gods created gods. Because we all have these same abilities. And that's how I view it. That's just my view of it.
Okay.
And so I don't see, that's why if we actually saw ourselves in this position and not so subservient to, something that is so much greater than us. Now, I know that nature and universe and those things are great creations that was
Hmm.
created by, I don't know, but I don't know who the creator of that is. I just know that it exists. I can see it, I can feel it, I can touch it, I can smell it, I can observe it. And this is exactly what our ancestors did. They did not go, there was no news, it wasn't no schools, it wasn't nobody telling nobody nothing. They was all out there doing it themselves. They had to be. What else was it? Besides darkness at night and light in the day.
Right.
Night and day. It was night and day, right? So
Right.
and so if we operated on the same thing of night and day, what else would there be? There would be nothing. You follow me?
I do.
So
Can I ask a follow up?
mhm.
So the word belief, right? I think as we're doing the healthy exchange, right? I think what's so beautiful is words have definitions, and I think people define words differently. So the beautiful part about exchanging and talking to people is finding out, like, how do you define that word? Like belief. How do you define belief? Because sometimes two people can have two different definitions of the same word. So when you say that this is what you know, not what you believe, what do you mean by you knowing and not believing? And the reason why I'm asking it that way is because isn't it possible for people that let's say people that you rock with on a regular basis, let's say you guys have the same worldview or you guys have the same knowing, right? What if you two believe, or not even believe, let's not use that word. What if you two have a knowing that are two different knowings? Would you say, like, who's right or wrong in that case? You get what I'm saying? Like our energy, like you said, our energy is good. It flows together, right? Let's say you have a person that believes or rocks with the same worldview as you, right? If you guys have two different opinions on something, who is right or wrong in that case? Or is it just we just differ on that matter, even though we rock with each other?
I'm gonna answer that in two parts. I feel you can rock with those who have the same vibes. You get what I'm saying? The energy
Hmm.
flows together.
Hmm.
However, what one knows, everyone does not necessarily know because
Hmm.
you can't take away an experience. You
Hmm.
can't take away because that's how you know through your experiences is one way that you know. But
Hmm.
you can't take away someone's experience. You can tell them that they perceived it incorrectly, but then now you're taking away something that they experienced in their knowing, right? But to know
Right.
something is something that has come to you of a magnitude that makes all the sense in the world. Okay,
Got you.
that when I say all the sense in the world, not necessarily to everybody,
Hmm.
but to you, that you can feel it along with it being given to you. Think about the things that have you ever sat and just thoughts just start flowing into your mind, and it's not even something you ever heard of before, so you know it's not your thoughts, it's thoughts that is downloads of things that you remember. I know that we are all also all of us, we have that ability to remember, because I don't want to say no, but I really want to say no. That we come and we cycle through continuously in a cycle of like reincarnation, right?
Oh, okay.
So kind of
All
going
right.
in, so a living life after life, we continue. The spirit, the energy, all of that continues to be present. And because of that, and we come back and we experience these same experiences, sometimes you will
Hmm.
be able to go back and remember what it is that you actually had happen, or something that actually took place, or something that is something. You get what I'm saying? Something that is, but it's not
Okay.
something that is right now. Because how did everything evolve without
Mm.
someone knowing something and putting that together? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I
Like
do. I
the
got.
only
I got a good.
no one knew anything and everybody just believed. No beliefs are making anything happen. Only those things that you know make something happen.
Mm, perfect. Got a question for you, sis. Ready?
I'm ready.
Have you ever witnessed a reincarnation?
Witnessed it?
Yes.
I never witnessed it. I don't know what that would, I mean, I don't never witnessed, I won't say I've never witnessed it for myself. I know that
Okay.
I have heard of someone else. So this would be me hearing of a story or a thing
Mhm.
or something of that nature, right? So that's
Okay.
pretty much that's probably the extent of that.
So, so how?
But it makes sense to me. So I
Right.
rock with things that make sense to me. That's pretty much what we do. I mean, you can call it a belief, but it's not a belief because I don't
Sis,
own
like,
it.
sis, like you finna put me in that boat, brother.
I just because
Because
I either know it or I don't know it. I mean, I do say the word believe a lot because it's just embedded to say it, because this is just part of this construct that we're in, and everybody runs around talking about what they believe.
right.
And the believing is actually just allowing someone else to control your thoughts. You because if
Okay.
it's not your own, if the thought is not your own, then to believe is to let someone else control your thoughts. So
So let
I
me
don't.
ask.
Mhm.
So how did you, if you didn't see a reincarnation, how did you come to know reincarnation if you never seen it?
Okay, so I don't know if that's what I would call it, but I do have. I see people, my ancestors. I see my grandmother. I see. I see people, right?
Okay.
So I see them, right?
Hmm.
And in that instance, when I'm seeing them, I think that this is them showing me themselves in another state. So they're not physically here with me.
Right.
See them. I see the the spirit and the energy of my late husband. Right. I see him in so many people or so many experiences or so many. That's how they live on. Right. But when you have let's say I never even knew. Let's just say some ancestors that I never even knew.
Right.
I still have those experiences of those people but I
Hmm.
don't know that that's an experience. So I feel like those experiences are what are similar to quote unquote reincarnation. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that the reincarnation is an experiencing someone in their after life and seeing them in others that may come after them. So, like how my grandson looks
Hmm.
identical to his grandfather, who he's never seen before, right? So, or never
Right.
met, or
Right.
never, right? And but then another grandson signifies and does things as the habits and but his dad doesn't act that way. So we always be like, dang, why does he act like his granddad?
Grandpa.
Why does he speak like his granddad? You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Right.
those are things that kind of make me think that they come. Sometimes I've heard that, and I've just heard because I don't know this, but I've heard
Right.
that people to come back to the same families and in a different body, a different way, being a different
Okay.
way. So and those things are there. But I think the
Right.
spirit continues to be present. I think the spirit continues to be present, no matter what the situation is. So that's what I think of when I think of reincarnation. I know that may not. I don't even know. I'm trying to get it out. Sometimes it's hard for
Right.
me to explain that because that's
Right.
not something that you can say because you haven't truly experienced it. But what's your experience in that? So my experience in that is what I just explained. How I see him show up in different of my grandchildren. When I see him, I see my grandmother. A lot of ways. In uh, my mother has great grandchildren, right? So,
Hmm.
and my
Hmm.
nieces and nephews, I've seen different people. My uncle show just kind of reminds. So I feel like that to me shows that these people spirit lives on because
Live
otherwise,
on.
then
Okay.
why would that be happening when they never even met the person?
Got
A
it.
better
Got it.
better example is my grandmother before she died. We went to visit her in a nursing home. She was actually in the nursing home and she was sitting there and she kept saying, talking to someone. We didn't know who she was talking to, but she kept saying, get out that window. If you're
Hmm.
going to jump, go ahead and jump. She kept saying that. Just get out the window, or if you're going to jump, go ahead and jump. And in that same being, that same breath, she turned around to me and I was holding my son, who at the time was 2 years old. This was my first time visiting her ever since I
Hmm.
had a child. She
Right.
got a picture of him as a newborn baby. You know that one where they all squished up like a little thing? Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
so she said to the room of people, who is that holding Noreen's baby? But she didn't see me, she saw him.
Right.
So how you get what I'm trying to say? Like I
I
think
do.
in her mind though, her mind wasn't here on this
Right.
plane at
Wasn't
all.
coherent in the natural.
She's seeing other things. Right.
Hmm.
You get what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say? Like
I
this
do.
is how
I
I
do.
think these things. This is why I
Okay.
think. I mean, it's a lot of studying, a lot of growing to get to different
Sure.
levels, and that's why we're here having this conversation today. Because I mean, it's
Absolutely.
definitely opening up a, a mindset of um, thinking that's a little different. I mean, you get my mind going for sure.
It makes us explore.
Yeah,
These are the questions that we were told not to ask, so we're doing it now. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it now. Um,
yeah,
so, because the reason why I asked was, from my understanding, reincarnation is usually, and like I said, there's different forms, right? But reincarnation is usually someone passes on and they come back as something or someone else. You know what I mean? So I understand. I understand your perspective. That's why I say, in any exchange, right? Defining the terms is so powerful because then we can find out what we all believe about the term. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's why I love asking the question because a lot of people, a lot of the viewers, they're gonna hear these and say, you know what? What do I think that word means?
Right.
What is my definition of that word? And when
Right.
you
And that's how I
define it,
feel. Mm-hmm.
right, because when you define it, now we know the basis of what we're talking about. So, like the word belief, right? The word belief. Me personally, I think based off of your definition, you may look at it as limiting, right? So for me, it's more so I always believe that you should believe based off evidence. Even my belief, I didn't believe the same way that I grew up believing. I didn't. I didn't become a believer or uh, uh, a person of faith based off of my upbringing. A couple of things, the reasons why I didn't become that. I didn't see equity in it. I didn't understand services. I seen a lot of activity without really understanding the fruit of it. I would see people act one way on one day and another way on the other days, and I was like, I don't see the power in it. I don't see it empowering me. I don't see it becoming or pushing me to become the best version of myself. I didn't see it. I see us praying, but I don't see us active. So you just pray and wait on it, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me totally turn a different way. Um, to no way, meaning, I guess you could call it just the secular side, where I was just following the music and following, the activity of young folk. You know what I'm saying? I went that way because I say this way don't make no sense. Everybody is spending a lot of time, spending a lot of money, but I don't see the equity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I seen a lot of dishonesty. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna go this way. The way I went wasn't, the best way, but it just wasn't that way. And once I got old enough, I said, I ain't going that way. So over time, I started to build, I would say, build my own life. I went after the career I wanted. I got into the gym. I started to get fit. Um, I had my own place. I was 22 when this happened. I was 22. I had my own thing going.
Wow.
I was in a managerial position, so I was making money. I had a little prestige. And I had my own place, doing my own thing. I didn't have any kids. I felt free. I felt like everything was going in the right direction. But for me, it came to a point where I started checking off all my boxes, right? I started checking off all my boxes, right? And the boxes like your goals. And at my age, most of, if not all my boxes was checked. But for me, I still felt a sense of emptiness. It was like it was like vanity wasn't enough. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't enough. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could check all the vain boxes and it's not enough. So that's what made me um I could tell you verbatim. I was in my apartment. I was sitting back. I had a cup of yak, and I had a little spliff, and I was in my own little zone, right? And I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, and this is something that I would do, especially after working out. I would, just calm myself, long week of work. And in that moment, I just felt an overwhelming emptiness. This is just my experience. I felt an overwhelming emptiness. Like, man, you checked your boxes, you got the girls, you got the abs, the cuts, you got the prestige, but you're not fulfilled. That's what made me that's what made me ask this question. God, if you're real, because at that point I was probably agnostic, I would say. If you're real, show me something. Like, I hear about you, I hear about you. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, show me something. If you're real, show me something. Let me, give me a sign. You know what I mean? We all looking for signs. Give me a sign. Give me something to work with because I can't just go off of what somebody else is saying. This emptiness got to be filled by something real. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So after doing that, that I guess you would call it a cry for help. Because if a person looked on the outside of my life, they'd be like, "What you need a cry for help for? your box is checked, man. But after saying that, um, everything that I put stock in became challenging for me. All the vain concepts that were going well all started to become challenging.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They all started to be, I like to use the word compromise. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started my journey because seeing the frailty in vanity, seeing how more stuff is not always the pathway to peace. That's what made me look for uh, in the spiritual or the spirituality realm. Um, because it wasn't enough. The boxes being checked were not enough. So that's what started it all. I didn't go through the same. I really didn't. I don't even do it now. They believe I'm an anomaly, and I am. You know, I'm gladly an anomaly. You know
Yes,
what I'm
you are.
saying? Thank you. But I'm gladly one. You know what I'm saying? Because when you box yourself in to things that you don't really understand, and you just go off with somebody else, you're just limiting your whole life to somebody else's thing.
Let me ask you something on that.
Yes, ma'am.
So you just made a statement kind of to our whole overall what we're talking about here. The fact
Sure.
that you had everything going for yourself, you was in the right place, doing the right things, everything was lined up, and you just still felt like something was missing. So you went and you
Yes.
challenged the God aspect, you tried to figure out what was going on there, and then everything
Yeah.
started to fold. But even with whatever your belief system was at that moment in time, whatever that was, it was holding you hostage and bondage, and it was causing some type of angst or anxiety or some type of dissatisfaction. So would you say that impacted your health or overall well-being in that?
You mean like the leading up to asking that question?
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I think I know, we're taught to just get the bag. That's what we're taught. Get the
Yeah.
bag at all costs. Um, you know, we're taught to suppress our emotions. Um, all you need to do is get the bag. We're almost taught to become machines. Just
Yeah,
be a machine.
that's how we're treated.
Right. Just be a machine. Produce, you sleep when you die. That kind of foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then certain music, a lot of the music, mainstream music, perpetuates the same culture. Get it at all costs, regardless of who you hurt on the way. Get the bag. And yes, it affected my mental health because it
Hmm.
made me look forward to something that really was unsatisfactory. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It was we out here trying to get to something that is controlled um goals. That's what I call it. It has control to it. What I mean is you can work hard as you want, but if it's not in your if the I guess the powers that be do not see it in your future
Right.
to do because it's always something above you in this realm that we're on. It's something always above you that's dictating where you're going to go and what you're going to do. If you work a job, you got a supervisor. That supervisor got a manager. That manager got a whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like somebody is always up and above. So the further you go, you're never the top. And it doesn't even matter how far you climb on these corporate ladders and all these, none of it even matters. When you really
Right.
look at it, you're not doing anything like you said, but being a machine and
Yeah.
showing up for someone else to do something, trying thinking that you're doing something for you. I came
Right.
across this woman on YouTube, and I end up binge watching her because she actually tells like stories, but she's actually showing her life in this, and she's telling her story, right? But
Hmm.
it's amazing the things that she's saying because it's so true. She now lives like she lives off the grid. She doesn't
Hmm.
live amongst the peoples, and she said all of that degrees and all the stuff that she did, and where she's out there, none of that stuff even matters.
Right.
And she's still living the best fulfilled life ever. And
Right.
if you think about that, that shows you that life is not about things. It can't be about things. It can't be about. She said, "I can't." She says, "I can't believe that one time I was thinking about being trapping myself in this system by putting myself under a 30-year mortgage, which would then trap me into this job for at least 30 years or more in order to pay for it." And then you've already said like this whole trickle down
100%.
thing. But I mean, these are ways that I already seen it this way. But just to hear
Mhm.
somebody else put it the way she put it, it was really, just really an eye opener. So
Yes.
when, so I stopped doing when we say believing, but I stopped rocking with, authority figures. I'm not answering to nobody, no religious leaders, no government, none of that stuff. Because I
Hmm.
live in a bubble of my own, but I don't do boxes either, right? I have a bubble that I created that's kind of like my protection that
Hmm.
kind of and I create my own reality. I only deal with the things that I have to deal with, but I don't have no tolerance for anything that is not beneficial to my growth, beneficial to my internal spiritual and uh, health and those things, because health is wealth. And if you are healthy and you are living your life that way, you'll see that so many things open up to you differently. When I began my health journey, I started seeing things differently. Every time I would fall back, what they used to call a backslide, every time I would
Right.
fall back, I felt the difference. You
Right.
know, I felt the
Right.
difference. I felt like I was stuck. I felt my and I felt like I was part of this. I let all those things I tell you that I don't let impact me at all of it
Right.
just piling down. It's all, and for me, that shows me that everything goes back to your health, wellness, and your mental health, your spiritual health. All of that goes hand in hand. Those are the keys. To me, those are the keys. If you haven't tried it, now, if you haven't tried it, then you can't even begin to attest to what I'm talking about. You might think you know something, but you might not know this, because what I'm saying is it's a complete 360, 180, whatever the number is, right? But
Hmm.
it's completely that. And what I mean by that is recently I just did a reset, right? I did a juice fasting reset where everything felt, I had so much. I felt like down, out. I felt depressed. I felt anxiety. I felt all these feelings.
Hmm.
And when I began to fast, as the days went by, I started to feel like I was floating. I felt
Mm.
lighter and lighter and lighter. And I paid attention. And this is what I'm talking about. When y'all hear me talk about mindful mindset, being mindful, you have to be mindful and pay attention to how you feel today, how you feel now, how you feel tomorrow, how you feel. Make sure you're documenting and journaling that. And I say that to say it all comes back to, if you have something that is weighing you down, whatever that thing is, it doesn't even have to be the food, but most times it's the food that you put in your body weighing you down. And it's also
Hmm.
impacting your mindset, which when your mind is impacted, there's no way for you to think outside the boxes. You end up being
Right.
stuck in those boxes, in those four corners. You have no ability to do that because you don't have any drive or any ability to do anything other than what you do. Get up, go to work, come home, and repeat, right? Get up, go to work, come home and repeat. On the weekends, go crazy because you only got 2 days to do the things that you should have been doing all week.
That's
And
right.
actually, we've been doing because actually, a lot of stuff we create for ourselves to do,
Right.
we and then we don't even need to do it. So
Right.
I think we use our lives to me incorrectly. I mean, I feel like we live our lives incorrectly, but we were taught to do this. And now
Yeah.
I think unteaching is a place to be. Like
Yeah.
today, when I tell you my body feel aligned with my spirit and my spirit is free, it's how I feel. And I want to see everybody else in that same place and doing the same things.
Right.
Um, and I know it works for me. And I'm not saying everything that works for me gonna work for everybody else, but I think it's something worth trying. I feel like I almost feel like I want to go knock on the doors like the
Jehovah's Witness.
yeah, and be like, please listen to me. Let's do this. And I promise you, you do this, your life will change. And you could change your entire life. Your mindset can change your entire life. And
That's a
when you
fact.
yes, it can. And I remember
Yes.
you, what you were just saying, like that story you told, just that alone shows that that's the truth. You get what I'm saying? So the truth,
Yeah.
what you believe, it's some things are the truth, right? Some things we believe, and some things we just know. And for me, what you just said to me, I know in my being is the truth. It's not I'm believing that it is. I believe, brother. No, I know what you're saying is the truth. I can resonate with that 100% because I've redone this thing several times where I've been down the rabbit hole of just doing things the way I know that they should not be done. And then I come back from it and I know that I feel the difference. If you document that time, you'll see all anxiety, all depression, all those things. I promise you right now, I feel none of those things. I'm probably like floating even right now today. Okay. So, and it's about how you nourish yourself in your mind, body, and spirit. But, did you have anything you wanted to add, brother? Because we did kind of, we was all over the place today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We was. Go ahead.
no, I enjoyed it. Go ahead.
No, we was rocking and rolling. I think it was a good, way to, really learn some of the terms, like, some of the terms, some of what some of what I believe, right? However we say it, right? I think words are powerful. I think mindsets are powerful, and for anybody, if you change your perspective, you can change your life. That's how it goes. If you change your perspective, you could truly change your life. It doesn't, it's not like some people think you have to do some of these astronomical things, and sometimes it's really just self-reflection and realizing what's good for you and what's not. You know what
It
I'm saying?
absolutely is. I
Yeah.
want to ask one more question before we leave out of here.
Sure, 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 absolutely.
Um, do
That's a
you
good
think,
question, Queen. That's a
I
good
know,
question.
because you like that question. All right. So
That was awesome. I like it.
do you think questioning perspectives is like detoxing the mind? Like the same thing like how fasting may detox or you go through a detox. Do you think questioning perspectives have that same ability to detox the mind?
Yes, I do. And why I think that is because you don't know what you don't know. Um, and what I mean by that is sometimes we assume things. I think it's human nature to assume
Mm-hmm.
based off of past experiences, based off of what we believe to be evidence. But like I was saying earlier, not everybody's a monolith. There are people that believe or or follow different worldviews from different directions, and you got to actually have a healthy exchange to learn what that person believes, rather than assuming. So I think that it does detox the mind. It
Mm-hmm.
leaves out the assumptions. Also, you learn which is expansion of the mind. If the mind is expanding, then you're detoxing it. Closed minds don't get fed.
This is now that's what they say. The same thing they say about mouth. Closed mouths don't get
Right.
fed.
I
Closed
had to
minds.
flip it. I had to flip
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's absolutely that's real. That's real. That's
Yeah.
real. Yeah, because you
Yeah.
need to start asking like, who told me this?
Yeah.
Why do I believe this? Why do I think this? Start
Right.
asking those questions and you will be taken on a whole nother journey. And when I tell you, you will be flushing out like spiritual junk food. See, I got me
Right.
one too. Spiritual
I like
junk
that.
food.
I like that. I like
Where
that.
you got all that stuff that you uh, took in and you thought it was something that you was good for you and then all of a sudden if you start questioning it, what happened?
Right.
What
Right.
happened? You start to have to you have to find the answer. Y'all saw what whole man did to me. He was like, so have you ever seen anybody get reincarnated? Now you know that's gonna be I'm gonna be on that in my head, like, but when you start to question those things, you can open up a whole nother section of that, right? So I explained what that looked like to me, but
Right.
in essence, the definition of what reincarnation has said to be, and when it comes down to definitions, that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Right.
But but what the actual definition actually says, I would have to say no. And then it kind of contradicts what I've been saying all along. Like, so then why do you believe this? Because I don't know it because I never even experienced it. But I told you experience is what I know. I know from experience. I know from my personal dialogue or with myself. I know from those things that come to me in downloads when I'm sitting and have my mind clear. And this right now, today, my mind is so clear that I feel like I could take this whole moment in time and just start writing a whole book. That's how I feel. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's how when you get yourself together, that's how you start feeling. You start thinking of things that could be beneficial to you and or others, right? Both. You always seeing others as a reason for doing what you do, not
Right.
really you're doing it for yourself, but you also start to see it as a beneficial to others. And that's what I like to show up, and that's what I like about Hope Man Speaks, because he's always asking questions. That's why I told you, if you go to his lives and things like that during he comes on early in the rising, and he has a question right off the top. You're like, really? Brother, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, you really
Right.
want me to you
Right.
want me
Right.
thinking. But I
Right.
promise you, I get so engaged because I be over there like I can't even talk fast enough to even answer sometimes or even engage the way I want to but this right here was perfect because we had the opportunity to kind of go back and forth on each other and physically ask the questions to each other. So
Right.
did you have anything else you wanted to add before we close out here today?
Well, you know what I always do before I leave? I tell the people, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you went through this week, no matter how you feeling, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, let's go, let's grow.
Grow.
That's all I gotta say, sis. That was it.
I'll wait for you to say, let's go, let's
Hey, let's do it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's how you charge up, man. You gotta tell those things, let's go, let's grow. That's it.
yes, yes, yes. Well, I
But I
want
enjoyed
to
it.
thank everyone who has rocked with us today. Thank you so much. I see you in the chat, bro. I appreciate you being here. I see you. I see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, but I see you. Coffee No Cream, Monique, Coach Mean Ring. Thank you for dropping through. Thank you so much for. If I don't say your name, it's not because I don't care. But also, oh, Ja came in. Home man, Ja came in to say hey, peace and love.
What's up, nephew? What's up, nephew?
He came in to stop and support. And
Appreciate you.
absolutely. And then you got Coffee, Cozy at Coco's was in here. We had quite a few, and we had quite the number fluctuated quite a bit while we were talking. Hopefully, we get some
Yeah.
people to come back and see this exchange of a healthy mind exchange, as well as detox perspective and
Right.
perspective detox, I should say. So I want to thank all of y'all. Give big love to everyone who tuned in here and joined the flow. Any of y'all who shared your own thoughts, I saw them in passing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to read them throughout, but definitely thank you so much for coming in. And this here was a healthy mind exchange, the perspective detox, and that is Whole Man Speaks. So thank you for riding with me today, my brother.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you bringing me.
And as you say, let's go, let's grow. So until next time, let's stay open, let's stay healthy, let's stay free. And y'all know how I do over here. We don't just feed the body, but we feed the mind, body, and spirit. So we're going to get out of here. I hope everybody has a beautiful and wonderful evening. And Whole Man, just stay back for just a moment. And I'm ready to end this stream. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. All right? Give me one moment. I always do this wrong. Hello. Right, here we go. Nope. That one needs to do that.
Queen's Alchemy Tribe is the vibe. Spitting peace and love on every live. The wisdom she holds is like no other. Bringing together every sister and brother. She extends peace and love through collab and grow. Her weekly connection, so now you know. Join the tribe on the live, she got something to say. Bringing healing the body each and every day. She's got something special, yeah, the queen is the vibe. Dropping wisdom in the group on every live. Queen Alchemy is gifted, yes, she'll fight for you. When she feels compelled to stand up for the truth. She's strong in her stance with poise and grace. Giving back to her community in every way. Queen Alchemy, now you know her name. One moment in a tribe, no, you won't be the same. Sharing wisdom, she's the queen. Dropping knowledge on everything. Join Queen Alchemy, she's the vibe. Sending peace and love on every live. With the knowledge and the tribe. Hail to the queen. Queen's Alchemy.